coming to see you, Otis.
OtisWho, music.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Come on, shit. I'm vibing to my own beats. Come on. Yes. Show about to start in a second. Here I come. I'm vibing to my own beat. I'm sorry, but I made this track years ago, but it's still hitting to me. Come on.
OtisWho, music.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
I made this track too. Hey, yeah, all right. Come on. Yes. There I go talking and ain't hit the damn mute button. Yes, yes, yes. What is the word? What is the word? This is the OtisWho Show, the OtisWho Podcast, and I am your host, OtisWho.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
I got three people who saying otherwise. I got three people who says otherwise. Well, actually, we're down to two, but who gives a, what's up with you famous nobodies? We here. I feel you. What's up with you, man? We chilling. Hey, I'm feeling good. We hanging out. I'm loving this. Again, no agendas, none whatsoever. I just enjoy going live. I don't care who's watching. I don't. But the 1 or 2 to the 5 loyal individuals that watch me when I do go live, I promise you I appreciate you. And one number's in the chat right now. He's always hanging around. I appreciate you, fam. Famous nobodies. We're going to go live together. I'm going to bring you up. We're going to be fine. Not today, but we're going to get something together. Be fine. But with that being said, what's going on, people? We here. I have some things I definitely want to talk about, rant on a little bit. Just have some good conversations. No agendas, none whatsoever. Let me pull up the talking points that I want to basically touch on. Let's talk about it. In no particular order, none whatsoever. Let's just talk about it. Some good stuff. Microsoft is in touch. I mean, my fault. I can't even read. Slow down, Otis, relax. It's this damn coffee. By the way, before I even get started, if you feel the show is worth your while, I don't beg, but if you feel like you want to support the show for whatever reason, scan any one of those QVR codes. I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate you. And that's all I'm going to say about that. It's on the screen. And also, too, before I get started, I'm definitely going to play the song that I have to get started before I even go. But let me just give you a brief rundown of what we're going to be touching on today. Microsoft is in talks to acquire TikTok. You know that's a story to be talked about. I want to touch again on the Tabitha Brown backlash that she's receiving from the DEI situation. I touched on it yesterday, and she got a little, well, not a little, a lot of backlash. I want to touch on that as well. Also, this talk about Trump revokes the Civil Rights Act. We're going to touch on that. And another small little lighthearted story, but serious at the same time. And it's going to be a trigger warning. You can read the title. We'll talk about that as well. But let's get right into it. I'm not going to waste your time. We're chilling. But before I go any further, you know what I have to do. And if you don't, you will get used to it. And I'm going to get right into it. Where you at? Where you at? Here we go. And after this, we're going to get right into it. Let's go.
Try, but it won't, it can't harm you. It won't work.
Yes. That is it. That is it. With that being said, let's get straight into it. Our first topic, I'm gonna basically keep it in order as best as I can. It kind of flows. Microsoft is in talks. I'm sorry, wrong one. My apologies. Stop it. Let me get out of there. My bad. I'm sorry. We here. Microsoft is in talks to buy TikTok. Find that very interesting. But let's read the story. Let's share the story. Get this out the way here. Because you know, if Trump's, well, before I get involved, before I even get down my soliloquy, when Trump is involved, you have to understand Trump is not a normal politician. First of all, he's not a politician. He is not a politician. So once I read this article, that's why this is one of the reasons why, for real, I like Trump. Not his moral stances, not his character. I'm not even talking about that. But when it comes to the business savviness of Donald Trump and running this country, because yes, it is a corporation first and foremost. It is a corporation. Do your own research. I love the way this man think, but let's get right into it. This is from Reuters. Trump says Microsoft is in talks to acquire TikTok. January 27th, United States President Donald Trump told reporters on Monday that Microsoft is in talks to acquire TikTok and that he would like to see a bidding war over the app. Microsoft declined to comment. I understand. TikTok and ByteDance did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for a comment outside regular business hours. TikTok, which has about 170 million American users, was briefly taken offline just before a law requiring its Chinese owner ByteDance to either sell it on national security grounds or face a ban took effect on January 16th. Trump, after taking office on January 20th, signed an executive order seeking to delay by 75 days the enforcement of the law. Trump said last week that he was in talks with multiple people over buying TikTok and would likely have a decision on popular app's future in 30 days. The United States president has previously said that he was open to billionaire Elon Musk buying the social media app if the Tesla CEO wanted to do so. Musk, however, has not publicly commented on Trump's offer. Here we go. More recently, AI startup Perplexly AI on Sunday made a proposal to merge with TikTok. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This is where the business savviness of Donald Trump comes into play. It's going to, listen, it's going to, here we go. Let me see. More recently, AI startup Perplexity AI on Sunday made a proposal to merge with TikTok, with the United States government getting up to half of the new company in future, a source told Reuters on Sunday. The report talks mark the second time that Microsoft has been in the frame to acquire TikTok. During his first term, Trump ordered TikTok to separate its U.S. version from ByteDance, citing national security concerns. The reason I like this in lamest terms is, one, Donald Trump is trying to get ownership of that company by any means necessary, and he wants at least half of it, period. I don't hear other politicians talking that way. I really don't. I don't hear any other politicians talking that way. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. No other politician, no matter what side of the aisle you stand on, or in the middle for that matter, has ever had conversations like this, for us, the talks like this, of buying a company because they're doing some egregious stuff for us, allegedly gathering your data and things like that. They know, I guess the United States has proof of this, so they want to get ahead of it, buy the company, because it has a lot of American people are making money off of TikTok. So it will behoove the United States to purchase it, have an vested interest, have some equity in that company. And he's talking about at least 50%. And why not try to get Elon Musk to buy into the company? Now, is it a conflict of interest? I have no idea. That's not my cup of tea. I'm not going to even lie. We're just having a conversation. We're just talking. I don't know if it's a conflict of interest, but I like the way he's talking thus far. I like the way he's moving. I don't have an issue with it. I really don't. I don't have an issue with it. But that's that first story. That's that. I just wanted you guys to know what was going on. He is in talks with several companies trying to purchase TikTok. He's trying. They're trying to get into it, but he wants. Matter of fact, it's safe to say this, and mark my words. In order for that company, TikTok, to remain within the United States, operating and everything, we're going to have, the United States is going to own half of it. Mark my words. If not, you can see TikTok disappearing within the next 30 to 75 days. But I guarantee you, there's a strong sense that TikTok will be purchased by another company. We will have 50% ownership in some form of fashion, and everybody will be happy. That's what I perceive to happen. All right, on to the next story. What do I want to move on to next? What was the next in line? We got the Microsoft. We got that one. Yeah, okay. Let's get into this one. Yeah, the Tabitha Brown backlash. Let me reiterate what I said yesterday. For those, if you hadn't watched my live yesterday, please, by all means, go back and watch that. But I will touch on it briefly. The DEI. In my humble opinion, I believe the DEI is a blessing in disguise, if we know how to see the signs and just know what to do. When I say blessing in disguise, I mean for us. Who I mean by us as a people, for us, the brown, black people, the people of melanated color. I believe this is a blessing in disguise. I really, really do. I know it doesn't seem like it, but to me, it's a blessing in disguise. But at the same time, I believe two things can definitely be true at the same time. It can definitely be true at the same time. But before I go any further to what I'm talking about, let's discuss what the backlash is all about regarding Tabitha Brown. Let me go here. Give me 1 second here. Shout out to Hype Plus. Let me go here. Let's go. Let me come on, stop it. Okay, let me skip that. Skip the ad. Okay. All right. Let's go.
News, I'm Symphony Thompson. In the midst of Donald Trump's first week in the office, the president has signed several new executive orders, including the rollback of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. As a result, many companies have also pulled back their policies with this new change, causing outrage amongst the country. Target, Walmart, and Amazon are just a few of the billion-dollar companies taking this into practice, which has caused some to call for boycotting of these businesses. Tabitha Brown, whose products are sold at all three of these companies, would take to Instagram in order to address the controversy while asking people to consider the Black-owned businesses that do business with Target. In her video, Brown would acknowledge the right to boycott the businesses that are rolling back DEI programs, but would also ask to consider how boycotting would affect the Black-owned products sold at these places. If we all decide to boycott and be like, no, we're not spending no money at these organizations. Listen, I get it. And if that's how you feel, honey, I get it. But so many of us will be affected. Our sales will drop. Our businesses will be hurt. Brown would...
I want to stop right there briefly. Let me back up just a little bit. I want that statement to remain on screen because that's where, in my opinion, that's where the divide starts within our own community, within our own people. For some reason, and this is what I kind of dislike about this DEI. This DEI is going to be more divisive between us, amongst ourselves, than it is meant to, quote unquote, bring us together. I can already see it. To me, there's too many extremes, and no one is trying to see the middle, that common ground. And this, I'm going to try my best to give you my example of what I mean by that. I'm a firm believer that, first of all, let me say this. I don't believe that we even need them large entities like the Targets, the Walmarts. I really do believe that. We as a people have too much money circulating. We generate too much economic resources. We really do. We spend too much money. We don't even need that. That's how I feel. But at the same time, two things can be true at the same time. I'm not trying to get my business and deal with them, but the ones that are, it's easily to go in there and just get their products. Like I said yesterday, two things could easily happen. There doesn't need to be an extreme. But I understand, yes, if you want to boycott Target, I get it. Like Tabitha just said, she gets it. I get it. But at the same time, if the Black businesses and people of color businesses are already in there, if their product is already on the shelves, which is a beautiful thing, go in there like any other company and buy it, get in line, and leave. Leave the toilet paper, leave the detergent, leave the jewelry, leave the outfits there. Just go get the Tabitha Brown spices or whatever, get in line and leave until her contract is up. But in the meantime, this is where I really come from. In the meantime, Tabitha or an individual like me, I'm taking donations because she made a comment that if she was to get all her products off the shelf, she doesn't have the warehouse or the logistical situation to house her products. That's where we as a people need to come in. There's no reason for us not to have nobody of us, the skin that looks like me or you, should not have a warehouse that's easily ran to have logistical operations. Easily. What does it take? an aluminum shell building, a dock high dock, and a couple of box trucks. Come on. I'm talking mess and I don't have it. I understand. But I'm taking donations. I can run it. I was a medical supply specialist in the Army. It could be done. So my end goal is for us to take over. We don't need it. We don't have any infrastructure that we can run our own. We don't. We don't support our own grocery stores. We don't do any of that. We really don't. And I'm speaking locally. I'm on the rant now. I'm sorry. I'm speaking locally. We had a couple of black-owned grocery stores, but for whatever reason, I can't tell you, that's a whole nother story, they don't survive. They don't last over 2-3 years for whatever reason. I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe I need to do a story on that. But for some reason, we don't support our own infrastructure. There is no reason for that. But I digress. Let me slow it up. So let's get to what we were continuing to say about what she was saying. They're coming after her because she's making a point. Her product is already on the shelves and she has a contract with them. And people are coming at her like she could just easily break that contract and telling her like she doesn't know already to get your own website and things like that, which I agree. Get your own website, get your own infrastructure. We could buy directly from you. Directly. We could buy it directly from you. I understand that. But in the meantime, go in there and get her product and all the other black-owned or people of melanated skin, go get their products. It's going to show in the receipts. It's going to show in their AI systems. They're tracking all this. They're going to see, and let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it real. We are actually below let me get my words together because words are everything. I'm known for the people always get me with this. We're not even, put it like this, we're the minority of the minority now. What I mean by that is I believe the Mexicans and the Latinos have surpassed us. So it's more than them than us now. Okay? Let's not get it twisted and let's be real. Yes, we have a lot of dollars. Yes, we do. But they really don't need us in their locations. They don't need our product on the shelf. It's nice it's there. Yes, it's nice it's there. But they're going to be just fine if they decide to keep your product on the shelf. But I'm going to go as far as this. This is capitalism, baby. This country/company is founded on capitalism. So it's about the money. So if your product is selling and they're getting a piece of it, why would they take it off the shelf? And I'm bold in saying that. Yes, I'm not naive to say there is not racism out here. Of course it is. But business is business. If your product is good and it's good by the numbers that has been moved, by the numbers that have been moved by us coming into the doors, getting their product, why would they remove it? It doesn't make sense to me. That has nothing to do with race, skin on the color to me. It's all about the numbers. And if we're coming in there buying the product, they're going to continue to have you stay on the shelf. Now, if you choose to leave, which is fine, which I really do encourage you to leave for real and get your own. But if you're there, you're there. And I will support you. My wife, this is my wife talking. She's going to go in and still support you. That's what she told me. To me, that's not a hard fix. But for some strange reason, I'm finna get right back into it. Some people want to go to the extreme and not go in at all, which I understand it and I respect it. Like I said yesterday, unfortunately in this fight, the little man sometimes will have to sacrifice for that bigger picture. And that's in any case. Has nothing to do with race or nothing like that. If you're trying to make and have a big takeover, of course the small people is going to have effect. It's going to affect them first. The first line of defense, that's why it's called the first line of defense. Sorry to tell you, the first line of defense hardly ever makes it. The 300, I love that movie. They don't make it, but they set the tone. And to me, let me get back to this. I promise going to get to it. To me, this DEI, it's a blessing in disguise. And I'm standing on it. To me, it's a blessing in disguise. We don't need them. Yes, we have our own problems within our own communities. A lot of us think we're businessmen and women, and we're not. But a lot of us are. But a lot of us not. Let's keep it real. But with that being said, we have the resources. We have the resources. We don't need to go to their schools. We have the HBCUs. Trump, he gives the money. I promise you, he's setting us up for an alley-oop. But some of us are too close-minded to see it. He's giving money to the HBCUs, so he's not cutting education. Go to your schools, learn what you need to learn for your own infrastructure, for our own grocery stores, for our own industries, growing your own foods, our own hospitals, our own banks. We don't have a lot of own black banks. We really do. We really don't. Don't be fooled. No, we do not. The hospitals, we're still depending on the quote-unquote white man for everything. And that's our fault. Our money's supposed to stay within. It's supposed to stay within. Easier said than done, I know. Easier said than done, I know, but it shouldn't be. I'm ranting, live with it. Easier said than done. We don't need to be on their shelves, but I understand why we are. But we don't need to be. Again, I'm taking donations. They're complaining about the logistics. They don't have anywhere to keep their supplies that they have on the shelves at the Targets or whatnot. Okay, let's get a warehouse. X amount of feet by X amount of square feet, shell with the steel Raptors. It ain't hard. 2 or 3 box trucks, dock high. Logistics. Let's do it. It's not complicated. Perfect example for us to be businessmen and women. I promise you, to me, it's the alley-oop to me. He's setting us up. Donald Trump, yes, he said some outrageous things. Yes, his character is a piece of shit. But business-wise, I can look past all that. To me, he's setting us up for alley-oop. But I continue. Let's keep going.
Will be heard. Brown would emphasize that boycotting without a strategy could unintentionally harm the business the community wants to uplift. She would state,
I like that. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep stopping. I'm sorry. Boycotting without a strategy. First of all, I'm not boycotting. We do too much boycotting. No. But I like that. Boycotting without a strategy. And that's what we're doing right now. I have to include myself in it because they thinking I'm doing it any damn way just based on the color of my skin. So we are boycotting without a strategy. That's how I feel.
boycotting retailers would give them the chance to justify pulling them from the shelves if they don't sell well.
If we all decide to stop supporting said businesses and say, I can't buy nothing from there, even the businesses who were affected by the DEI ban, right? What that does is you take all our sales and they dwindle down, and then those companies get to say, oh, your products are not performing, and they can remove them from the shelves and then put their preferred businesses on the shelves.
Now, that statement that she just said is true. Let me shout out in the chat real quick. Shout out to the world class. I appreciate you, sir. I really do. Shout out to you. Shout out to Lifted Luxury. Shout out to you. And of course, I see you famous nobodies. I appreciate you guys coming through. What she said is true. Yes, it will affect everything she just said. But again, that's that front line. That's that 300. It will. But it's not going to affect her the way she thinks it's going to affect her, but it will affect her nonetheless. I'm not trying to be in her pockets or anything like that. I'm not. We're just having a conversation. I'm pretty sure she has a website already set up, that she been had the website set up. I'm almost certain of it. Yes, business-wise, I understand about contracts. She has the contract, so she has to be obligated with that contract. She can't just break it. It's going to be costly to break it, so she has to maintain in there. So I get it. But what I'm saying is this, and I'm pretty sure The 4 people that are watching me right now, I thank you, probably agree with the boycott. Just boycott those companies. And you have the right to feel that way. You have the right to feel that way. But let's come up with other alternatives to that. Because again, there will be some companies, some small companies that's going to feel it. And that's just unfortunate. That's just very unfortunate. It's going to happen. But there is a medium to me. There is a middle ground. It really is. There is a middle ground. Let's continue.
And then what happens to all the businesses who've worked so hard to get where they are? Then what happens?
Unfortunately, it seems like Brown's message was misinterpreted, as many social media users online would rather Brown direct her energy towards Target as opposed to Black consumers.
Here we go.
One user on social media would write, "Sorry to Mrs. Tabitha Brown, but she needs to redirect her energy and talk to Target execs about letting her out of that Target exclusive contract, instead of talking to Black folks about rightfully taking our Black dollars literally anywhere else." Another online user would agree and write, "I don't like what Tabitha Brown said, because she is insinuating that the fate of her brand and other Black brands is in the hands of boycotting Black consumers, instead of placing blame on the actual companies rolling back DEI initiatives that will likely drop her." Now, as her original message wasn't properly received, to clear the air, Brown would post another message on Twitter with a caption reading, "Since so many people didn't watch to the end of my video and have created a false narrative, this is not about me. This is bigger than me. I'm grateful for all the support over the years, but if I don't get it anymore, I overstand and I'm okay. But it's bigger than me."
Huge. Beautiful. And I honestly couldn't have said it any better. She gets it. She knows that she's taking a chance and there's going to be a possibility that she's going to lose income, business based on this DEI situation. And I understand and I agree with her 100%. She said it clearly. So please, on her behalf and in her defense, stop with the false narratives. Stop. Again, that's going to go on and happen regardless. You can't please everybody. This is what I'm saying. This is going to be more divisive to us than bring us together. That's just my honest opinion. To me, it's not this complicated. It's not that complicated. Support Black-owned businesses, wherever they may be. It's just that simple on the surface level. Support the Black-owned businesses wherever they may be. If you choose not to, far as going into the location, it's incumbent upon the business owners to have other avenues for your consumer to support you. If they choose not to go into the establishment themselves, you should have another lane, a website or something. I know what's happening. I know what's coming. Let's get it together. Let's get it together. But read between the lines, people. This is not a bad thing, in my opinion. This is an opportunity for us, the ones that are astute, the ones that are prepared to take that next step. Let's build these logistical operations that they say that we are lacking. Let's do that. What does it take to make the world go round? Transportation, which falls under logistics. So I agree with her. We need the warehouses and we need the trucks. Let's do it. We have too much money. But in the meantime, support the Black businesses, the melanated businesses that are in these companies. That's what I say. But this is just me. This is just me. But that's that. Hey, I appreciate you, Tabitha. You're going to be all right. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. There's going to be more to come on this topic. I know. There's going to be more to come. It's coming. What's next? What can we roll that right into? Okay, let's roll that right into this false narrative that the right, my fault, that the left is running with so badly. And you have to do your own research. Do your own research. That's all I can say. Now, I follow other conservatives within the space, YouTube, out there in the real world. I don't agree with everything that they say. Lord knows I don't. Let's get into this one. Trump revoked civil rights. I don't agree with everything that's on the conservative platform. No. But I do love another and a fellow black conservative. I do. So let's pull up my man, Anthony Brown Logan. He's from YouTube, and he had some things to say about the 1965 or 64 civil rights law, the protection. I agree with him about 75% of what he says, the way he breaks it down. 25% I don't, and I'm going to let you know that part when I get to it. But sometimes I go to other individuals who think the way I do because I want to get their point across, see how they're articulated, and sometimes they do articulate it better than I do. So I like to go to their channel sometimes and just share their thoughts. So let's go into it. And I'll let you know the part I don't agree with, but we're just going to go through it. Bear with me. Here we go. Because he said something that kind of, it rubbed me the wrong way. But again, 75% of it was on point. But he said something. And there's a study to quote unquote back up what he said, allegedly. I need to pull that report up. He's going to mention it, but let's get into it. I'm trying to let this commercial get through. Give me 1 second here. Come on. You know how YouTube is. But please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell if you haven't already to be informed of the next show, which will be tomorrow. All right, but let's get right into it. Here we go. Share screen. All right, here we go. Please, if you're a conservative like me and you like hearing other conservatives, go check him out. Anthony Brian Logan, good guy. Matter of fact, let me like this video. Okay, I like it. Let me back up here. Let's go.
Spectrum.
Oh, come on with these commercials. I'm sorry. Yeah, you know how YouTube is. Here we go. Skip. All right, get straight into it. Here we go. Let's go.
Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about President Donald Trump rescinding the 1965 executive order signed by then President Lyndon Baines Johnson, which had the intended purpose of fighting workplace discrimination and also enforcing the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Mm-hmm. Now, as a black person, as a person of color, as they say, I support this move 100%. You should too if you support the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Now, before I go too far into it, let's check out some articles. We got links, videos, everything, and I will link to everything in the box so you can do your own independent research, okay? Here's CNN. You see the headline right here. Trump rescinds measure used to fight workplace discrimination for 60 years. Now, some see that and think he's going to rescind the Civil Rights Act. He can't do that. He can rescind executive orders by himself, which is what LBJ signed the year after the...
Did you hear what he said? Donald Trump cannot rescind the 1964 Civil Rights Act. He cannot. So stop with the false narratives. He cannot do it. I'm going to back it up just a little bit more so you can hear it again.
He can't do that. He can rescind executive orders by fight workplace discrimination for 60 years. Now, some see that and think he's going to rescind the Civil Rights Act. He can't do that. He can rescind executive orders by himself, which is what LBJ signed the year after the Civil Rights Act. Okay. He cannot rescind the Civil Rights Act. Actually, he wants to strengthen it by getting down to the core of what the act was all about: fighting discrimination. You don't fight discrimination with more discrimination. Not in 2025, especially. I'll explain that in a moment. But here's Axios. Trump rolls back bedrock civil rights measure and sweeping anti-DEI push. Now, you know about DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. It's affirmative action remix. It's like when they say people of color versus color people. It's the same exact thing. One sounds a little bit more flowery and fancy, but it's the exact same term. Okay? It's all about putting people in a place of employment, a place of importance, visibility, whatever the case may be, because of their identity. And it's not even really about being black, because some of y'all are like, oh, you hate black people. It's not even about you, really. It's about just doing what's right, period. Now, this is the Civil Rights Act. This is law. It's not going anywhere. And if it was to go anywhere, Trump's got to go to Congress and get that passed.
Yes.
Okay. House, Senate, then president, not president by himself. But let's just read a little bit of this.
And before we go any further, yes, he has the House. Yes, he has the Senate. But that's not going to happen. I promise you, he has a plan. I'm telling you, in order to fix anything, you have to clean out that wound. You have to clean the wound out. With some good things on top of that wound, sound funny, gets in the midst of that, put it like this, will some of the good skin, as you're cleaning out that wound, get messed up and affected a little bit? Yes, it's gonna burn like hell, but it's required. It's needed. You have to get that bull out the way so that can heal. I promise you, I'm seeing this. The liberals, you can't see it now. You can't see it now. And some conservatives, you think you've been duped, whatever. I'm telling you. I ain't finna go there. I'm telling you. But you have to be patient. You just have to wait for it. But you got to clear that field first before you could get them fresh vegetables and fruits to grow again. You got to get that tiller. You got to get all that bad soil off top. Got to get them bricks out the way. You got to get the moles from out the ground. Whatever, because I'm not a farmer, whatever animals and insects that infected, you got to get that together. And it's going to be rough. The lawnmower is going to, you got to cut that grass low. You got to get down. And unfortunately, it's going to be a baby rabbit in there. Unfortunately, right place, wrong time. And that lawnmower blade is going to get him. I experienced that. I had to stop cutting the grass. Digress. Cutting the backyard. True story. Cutting the grass. And I accidentally cut the back of a baby rabbit, the skin. And I saw it. It messed me up. I ain't cut the grass for the rest of the 2 weeks. I didn't. But I digress. But the point is, I don't know why I told that story, it just hit me. Shit happens. The point is, you got to get that dirty soil together. You got to get that contaminated shit out the way. And unfortunately, some good things is going to be thrown out. Unfortunately. Not a lot, but some. Let's continue.
Okay, I know for some, reading is not, it's a lost art, right? But we got to read some of this because that's where you get the information. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 is a landmark civil rights and labor law in the United States that outlaws discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin. So when you say you must take affirmative action to ensure that this group gets in and that group gets in, what you do is discriminate against others. If a place, for example, has 50% white, 45% Asian, and there's not enough black and Hispanic, ultimately you got to take some of the white and some of the Asian out by discrimination. There's a lawsuit right now from Asian students against, I believe, Harvard, because it is. Okay, look, Harvard is basically white.
Would that be, I guess that would, see, he brings up some great points. He really do. And I'm glad when he does bring up certain things, he does have articles and things like that to support it. Now, like this here, I didn't know anything about this. which is not hard to find, just have to just do the research. Yale, Princeton, and Duke are questioned over decline in Asian students. The legal group that won the Supreme Court case that ended race-based college admissions suggested it might sue school where the percentage of Asian students fell. So, is that a sign of racism as well? For us, the affirmative action / DIE, DEI, is that? So he does bring up a good point, I think. What say you?
I believe Harvard, because it is. Okay, look, Harvard is basically white and Asian, 100%. In order to make that not be the case, to get more blacks and Hispanics, you have to discriminate against the whites and Asians. And that violates this law. Let's keep on going. This is the EO signed back in 1965. Okay, so LBJ gives a speech in front of Howard University in DC back in the summertime of 65 and says, you know what? We signed the Civil Rights Act last year, but it didn't go far enough. We're going to sign this to ensure that you guys, black folks at that time, are able to get into these places. You're able to get more jobs.
Okay.
Now, I think the intentions may have been good at this time because the black unemployment rate, the black poverty rate and unemployment rate was very high. I think the black poverty rate was like 55%.
Okay. In
the mid to late 50s. And during civil rights, it actually increased
to
from 55% to almost 60. It was
all right. Now, you heard what he just said, and I know he's not lying. I don't have the statistics in front of me. He does, and I'm going to get them myself. It's not a political thing, but I have to bring it up when it fits the narrative and when it's true. You will never hear the liberals or the Democrats say what he just said. It was worse after the law went into effect. It was worse. It went up 10 points. It went up 10%. It went up from 55 to 65%. But they're not going to talk about that. Let's continue.
Really bad as far as the black poverty rate. Really, 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 really bad. So they were trying to do things to get us more into the workplace. You must take affirmative action. What that boils down to is quotas. No, the quotas are not part of this executive order. There's nothing that says you must hire this many blacks, this many Hispanics.
Right.
But ultimately, when it comes to cracking down on some of these corporations, you want to have more minorities in your place. If it's all just white male, you got a problem.
Now watch
and
this.
Minority doesn't mean black, by the way.
Here we go.
Minority means minority. So if a place is 95% white male, okay, hire a white female. That's a minority because it's 95% male. See how that works?
Now, how do you feel about that? I need a double check. This is a learning experience for me as well. I need to check that. Is a white woman considered a minority in today's society? That's a good matter of fact, because I really don't know. And let's do it. I'm going to ask the question live. We're going to do it live right now. Let me get a new screen. Let me do it, and let me type it in. We're going to do it live together. Is the white woman in America considered a minority? Though women are not considered to be a minority, the status of women as a subordinate group has led to many social scientists to refer to them as a disadvantaged group. But that's not, let me see. Is a white woman a visible minority? Definition: visible minority refers to whether a person is a visible minority or not, as defined by the Employment Equity Act. Okay, the Employment Equity Act defines visible minorities as persons other than Aboriginal peoples, interesting, who are non-Caucasian in race or non-white in color. Okay, so I guess they wouldn't be. Okay, so I don't know, ABL. I don't know, ABL. Please, I don't know. If I need to do some more research. I'm doing this live right now. I'm trying to see. I don't believe that would fit that criteria, what you just said. I understand the example, what you was trying to say. See, but that's what I'm saying when I say I don't agree with everything that conservatives say. I don't know. A white woman is not considered to be a minority. I don't think, just by the basic, minute, entry level, I admit, research, they're not considered a minority. So I don't know where you got that from. But let's continue. But I still rocks with you though. Let's go.
Works. Or how about this? All right, the place is 50%, like I said, 50% white, 45% Asian, and you want to get more blacks and Hispanics. You have to discriminate against the Asians. So now the so-called racial minority in the country is not the racial minority in a place. So it's okay to get some of them out. Now, some are going to say, what about the NBA? You see, Asians aren't as protected as the black and Hispanics. And that is a problem. Now we're just getting into racism. We're getting into racism. So if you don't believe in racism.
Now, again, he says something that, again, I'm going to admit, I haven't done any research. I have not. This is just me having a conversation. He said that, peace to you, Alan Crooks. Peace to you, sir. He said that Asians aren't protected as much as the African Americans and Hispanics. I don't think I agree with that. He said it. Let me back it up just a little bit so you can hear it again. Again, I don't believe that to be true. If someone could find and send me the statistics, and I look it up myself, but I just don't believe that to be true. Let's back it up a little bit because he said that. I rocks with him though. Let's go.
So it's okay to get some of them out. Now, some are going to say, what about the NBA? You see, Asians aren't as protected as the black and Hispanics.
Woo! He said, that didn't sit well with me. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know. But let's continue.
And that is a problem. Now we're just getting into racism. We're getting into racism. So if you don't believe in racism, then you shouldn't believe in this executive order, and you should think it's a good thing to rescind it, right? What's this? Whitehouse.gov, ending illegal discrimination and restoring merit-based opportunity. Okay, I'm gonna read some of this right here, then we're gonna get to a video. So look, by the authority vested in me as president, it's President Trump, of course. By the authority vested in me as president, by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered. Long-standing federal civil rights laws protect individual Americans from discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, as 1964 Civil Rights Act. These civil rights protections serve as a bedrock supporting equality of opportunity for all Americans. As president, I have a solemn duty to ensure that these laws are enforced for the benefit of all Americans. So what are we talking about? Look, yet today, roughly 60 years after passage of the Civil Rights Act 1964, critical and influential institutions of American society, including the federal government, major corporations, financial institutions, and medical industry, large commercial airlines, law enforcement agencies, institutions of higher education have adopted and actively use dangerous, demeaning, and immoral race and sex-based preferences under the guise of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, or diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, DEIA, that can violate civil rights laws of this nation. See,
before I go any further, I have to stop there. I'm not going to even lie. That whole paragraph sound like Trump. I'm not going to even lie. That whole damn paragraph sounds just like Trump. When he was reading that, I'm not going to even lie. For better or for worse, I just visualized Trump. I heard his voice and everything. I'm thinking. Continue.
See, so the purpose is to actually abide by the spirit of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Simple. Let's get to a video here to see what this person says. Here's the executive order. There's LBJ and MLK. Here's a video. Check it out.
We're joined now by DEI labor attorney Jason Schwartz. Mr. Schwartz, thanks so much for joining us. First, just want to ask your initial reaction to the scope of the executive order and the employees placed on leave.
Sure. So nice to be with you. The scope of this order is huge. Really dramatic change, not only for government contractors, but for all private sector corporations.
And Trump notably revoked the executive order signed by LBJ back in 1965, which prohibited discriminatory practices in employment decisions for federal contractors. What sort of immediate impact could we start to see?
So the president, as you said, revoked the 1965 executive order from President Johnson and has flipped the requirements so that government contractors now have to agree not to engage in any sort of DEI program that has a preference based on race or gender. So not only do they get rid of their affirmative action programs, but they have to agree not to engage in certain DEI practices.
I mean, that's just basically the same thing. So it's like no affirmative action and no programs that can enforce affirmative action, meaning you are not able to say, okay, you're this color, I'm going to hire you because you're this color, or you're this gender, or you're this religion. That is called discrimination. Some people are not really going to understand. They're going to be like, oh, that's not, listen.
Real quick, before it goes further. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, I appreciate you. Hit the like button and the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Thank you so much. I have friends. I have an associate of mine, woman of color. She has her own cleaning company, her husband and herself, but it's actually her company. So she will be considered a minority company owner. Number one, she's a black and she's a black female. So she has these great contracts. She's been awarded the businesswoman of the year here in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm proud of her. I am proud of her. So she has airport contracts for the Lambert Airport. I think they changed the name of it, but I forgot it. She has these nice major contracts around the St. Louis area. I would be lying if I was to say, because she told me she did, it's obvious, and there's nothing wrong with it, because it was available for her. She went in under the disguise, for lack of a better word, under the guidance of the DEI, under the guidance of the Minority Business Owner Program. Hell, I would do it too. I'm not going to sit there and lie, even though I am a conservative. I would utilize it as well too. It's there. I get it. But since it's not there, here's my point. I'm about to bring it home. Yes, she's a black female-owned business in the field of Caucasians, cleaning companies. But since she's gotten that opportunity, she does great work. I am almost certain she could hang amongst the big boys. That's my belief. Call me naive. She's a great company. She's black and a female. Take that off the table. She's a great company. So put the company up, put in your bid, and get the job. I feel that at this point in time, I'm not naive, I'm hoping I'm not, that she could stand on her own, that company, based on her history, based on her work ethic, based on her credentials, based on her referrals. She good. That's what this should be about. Unfortunately, there are some companies who has that quote-unquote power who will flip through the papers and say, nah, I don't want this company for whatever reason. I get that. Shame. I get that. But I believe the major companies outweigh and outnumber companies that operate like that. I really, really do. Call me naive all you want. I really, really do. So was it needed at one point? Yes, especially back then in the 60s and things like that. Do I feel that it's needed now? I really don't. If you don't want me there, that's fine. I'm going to go where I'm wanted. To me, it's simple. But I digress. Let's keep it moving.
And what if it was the other way? What if they said, okay, we're going to hire you because you're white? Wouldn't that be considered racist? So how is it not racist when you say, okay, I'll hire you because you're LGBT and you're a transgender, and I can put you in front and say, look, we got a black transgender. Look at how woke and inclusive we are. That's ultimately what goes on. And as I close, I want to say this. It's bad in the workplace, but
this right here, and I'm about to end this particular story right here because I've been on this for a minute. We'll be done in less than 5 minutes on this particular story. This right here is where Mr. ABL loses me. Now, he's going to mention an article or a study, which I need to go find myself and read it. But what he's about to say, it rubbed me the wrong way. But I need to take my emotion out of it. And I need to find this study or the story that he's going to refer to. But what he's about to say right now, here we go.
It's equally as bad, or maybe even worse in education, because the students who should be in higher education, building this nation up with their intelligence, with their work ethic.
Okay.
Those who should be in higher education, really getting that next level, coursework, are not able to be there in favor of someone who shouldn't be there. There's a book about this in academia called Mismatch. When you put in Black and Hispanic kids in this really high intensity program they're not ready for, all because they're Black and Hispanic. So they're going to be at the bottom of the class, struggling.
See. And again, he made this statement. Let me back this up. Blacks and Hispanics shouldn't be in this. What is this story? I need to find this. Where is this at? Mismatch, how affirmative action hurts students it's intended to help and why universities won't admit it. Is there some truth to this? So he's basically saying with this affirmative action, they need to feel a quota so bad that they're putting unqualified Hispanics and Blacks in those positions. That's essentially what he's saying. I don't agree with that. That's where he lost me. Now, it's not really him. Let me take that off him. It's not him. No, it's not him. That's what this study, this article says, and I'm going to read it. So I need to bring this up. But as you can see, it's right here. Mismatch, how affirmative action hurts students it's intended to help. Wow. That's where he lost me. Right? I keep saying him, not him. No. Let me get my words together. It's everything. Not him. This article. But I need to read it. Maybe it supports the facts. Maybe it's supporting what he's saying. I didn't read it before I went live, but yes, I don't know about that though. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about on that anyway. Enough of that. We, again, go check him out. ABL, that's who I follow. I like him. Another fellow conservative. Oh, my fault. Wow, I ain't mean to do that. Wow. Wrong button. It was too close to the main page. Whoa. Not you. I didn't know. No. Don't get offended. But I got that saved for whoever needs that, but it wasn't you guys. I apologize. Apologize. That finger, yeah. Pause. Next story. Next story. And last story of today. Beautiful. Here we go. It's serious. It's lighthearted. It's like, hey, what's going on, cuz? I see you, Haitian, the sensational one. What's up, cuz? Peace to you. This last story I have for the evening, this early afternoon. What time is it? It's 1:13, so that means it's 12, 13, somewhere. It is high noon. High noon, baby. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in. Now, this next story is a little humorous, but serious at the same time. You can't fit in my car. I'm sorry. Let's get straight into this. This is crazy to me. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Rapper, I forget who is it? I've never heard of her. Rapper Dank DeMoss is not playing with Lyft. Dank DeMoss has taken legal action against Lyft after a driver allegedly refused her service, claiming she was too big to fit in his vehicle. This incident comes just a week after Lyft issued a public apology for the driver's behavior. Dank DeMoss, now represented by her legal team, has filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit demanding accountability and highlighting the ongoing challenges of size discrimination. This case sheds light on the treatment individuals face in public spaces and the responsibilities companies have in training their employees. What are your thoughts on this lawsuit? Should companies like Lyft be held more accountable for their drivers' actions? Let's talk. Before I go, though, let's hear this audio and what took place. But let me turn, here we go, let me do, give me 1 second. Let's go. Need to refresh it and get ready to hit the speakers as soon as you start talking. Go.
What am I doing about my money?
I'm gonna cancel you. You're not gonna be charged.
So you telling me I can't get in the lift because I can't fit in your car?
Yeah, you need to order a bigger car.
What makes you think I can't fit in the car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What makes you think I can't fit in this car?
Because the car is small in the back.
My best friend has a Benz that's newer than this that I can fit in. That's the same size.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't.
So you really telling me I'm too big to get in your car, so I gotta order another lift?
Yeah. And to be more specific with you, I got very tired tires.
What I got to do with your tires?
This man said he has very low tires. He said, to be very specific with you, I have very low tires. I'm not trying to be funny. Listen, hold on.
Yeah, and you have no space.
How you know I don't have no space?
Yeah, I got no space in the back.
How do you know I don't have no space?
Because I tried before.
Huh?
Because I've been in this situation.
So every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car?
Yeah, because they need to order the Uber XL.
No, I don't never have to order Uber XL.
You know,
he told her to order an Uber XL.
Really sorry.
What's your name?
Abraham Travis.
Okay.
Listen, I am not, for lack of a better phrase, fat shaming or anything like that. I am not. I promise you I'm not. But let's have a for real conversation. For real, no jokes, no nothing. Let's have a for real conversation. As you see in this picture, this young lady, she's a rapper. You could see that she's clearly overweight. Whatever the condition or the situation may be, she's overweight. There's a lot of questions that I have regarding a lot. Let's break them down. One, let's talk about it. As a Lyft driver or an Uber driver, company stance, are you an independent contractor? Do you get a 1099 at the end of the year? If so, that means that's your own business and that's your company car. That's your own business. So therefore, in my mind, we're just having a conversation. You have the right to control who gets in your car, especially if Now, I don't know if this is a legitimate gripe. That's why we're talking about it. I don't know. Is it wrong to not have someone get in your car because of their perceived size if you're driving in a small vehicle? Is that wrong? It could be. I could be naive. I could be out of touch. I'm having a conversation. First, for the record, and to be fair, I don't know what type of vehicle it was. I have no idea. Don't know. Two, just having a conversation here. There are different classes of vehicles that you can order, I would assume. Sub, compact, regular, XL, in case you have a large family. And in this case, if you are a large individual. I mean, there are situations that you know that you would fit. I'm just asking and having a conversation. Is that body shaming? And does that warrant a multi-million-dollar lawsuit? I'm just asking the question. Could she have easily, knowing that she know what her size is, when she made the phone call to make sure that she got at least just a regular size vehicle? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm asking the question. So she won't run into these issues? I don't know. To me, these are just common sense questions. I don't know if that's a lawsuit. I can understand her feelings getting hurt, but I don't understand the response. You should have, for real, you should have gotten a larger vehicle when you placed that order to be picked up. I'm just serious. I don't, is that wrong? I'm serious. I don't get it. Chat, talk to me. I don't know. Is that wrong? The comment about the tire pressure, listen, I don't know if that's true, and I don't know about all that. Listen, I don't know how much she appears to weigh. I'm pretty sure the car could have held that weight. The question is, could she fit in the vehicle comfortably? That's the question. I'm not a lawyer. Also, too, the driver could probably fight back and defend with the situation for as, hey, if she get in, yes, she's in, but is she in the vehicle safely? Is she putting it, are we putting her in more harm than good in case we have, God forbid, an accident? Would it hurt her more because she's not trying to be funny? Can the seatbelt fit across her? That's the question. Could the seat, I mean, these are, so I don't know how, I don't know what's up with this lawsuit. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Help me, please. I'm not cracking jokes. I am so serious. I don't get it. Again, the size. She is a large young lady. Cute, but she is large. I don't know what type of vehicle that was that she was trying to get in. She made a comment that she get into her friend's car and she fit. So I guess it's the same. I don't know what, they never said exactly what type of vehicle it was, but I don't know. Again, I even trying to be funny. Would you sit in the front or the back? There's less room in the back. Your knee. I don't get it. Let's see. We're going to see where this lawsuit goes. We're going to see where this lawsuit goes. I don't know. But hey, people, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the OtisWho podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
I understand that, but you came. We hung around. I gave my opinion, my thoughts on some things. Thank you guys for sticking around and hanging in. I appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow. But let me see what the chat's saying real quick. But what Cuz saying? What you saying? I can understand if he had a Mini Cooper, but a Mercedes is better. She better fit probably safely. Mercedes is a safe vehicle. Okay, I agree with that, but But all depends on what Mercedes, what type of vehicle it is. Can she? I don't know. I'm being serious. I don't know what type of vehicle it was. I don't know what type of Mercedes it was. I don't know. But that's crazy. I'm going to keep my eye on this and follow this story. I'm not trying to be funny. Again, I might be naive. I might be, what they say, tone deaf. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't see the issue. Yes, would I want you for real in my car? I probably wouldn't for your safety. I'm so serious. I don't get it, but we see how they go. Hey, people, until next time, we're going to be all right. Tomorrow, hit the like button. Man, if you don't stop doing that, stupid ass boy, hit the like button on your way out if you hadn't hit it already. I appreciate it. Hit the notification bell, and I will be back tomorrow. Take it easy.
OtisWho. Music.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.